Welcome to a live recording of episode 69.
Yes. I love that.
I always knew it would be a special one, and I wasn't sure what guests I would have on or how it would be. But this is it. It's just so, it's cool because, God, we're getting up there. We're really just cranking out the episodes. And I so prefer to do these things live. And it just so happened that my friend, Estelle Skogstad-Kurk, is visiting from Seattle to offer support and just, an extra hand as I produce this Outlaw Party happening during South by Southwest tomorrow. So there's a lot going on, and it's just like, why not add another thing to what we have going on and just record a Feminized podcast episode?
Yeah, I'm here and excited to be here. Last time we did this, we were talking through computers, and now we're here face to face, which is really exciting. I love it. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's such a different vibe. And I think it's one that a lot of, there's just a lot lost in translation, when you're on a Zoom.
That person-to-person connection isn't there, and you can humanly connect, with someone, the energy, you read the room kind of thing. So,
like, ooh, I need to move on from this topic, right? Like, she doesn't want to talk about it, let's go. Or I need to stay with this topic. Like, it's so hard with Zoom. So yeah, hopefully we had a good conversation on Zoom. I hope it wasn't too weird for you, because I know we're friends, like in the IRL. You're not just a guest on the podcast, but I think you've definitely become a friend to me. Over the past couple months.
Yeah, we've grown a lot together in this last couple months, working on this project together, and it's been great. And I love Texas. Like when I was here last time, like helping you guys with the Hem Cup, I was like, I love it here. But going back to what you were saying, here in person, talking to one another. And then also I was super nervous when we did our first one, because that was my first experience that.
Yeah.
But I feel a little better now. I think it's because we're in the same room. So
good.
But that was just my nerves. I get nervous with production in front of me like this. But I think I'm just gonna work on just moving aside those fears and just being present and just enjoying the experience.
Yes, absolutely. Ooh, thank you for that, Patrick. Yeah, there we go. That's much better.
Dim the light a little bit.
Yeah, that's much better. But good. I'm really glad to hear that you're just kind of consciously trying to move past those fears. Do you feel like you have to dig around to see why those fears exist to move past them? Or do you feel like, no, okay, I recognize the fear's there. No matter how it came to be, I just have to move past it. Where do you fall?
I think I've just been in this really great transformation in my life, and I have been recognizing the fears, and I've just been understanding what those are and how to move past them. So it's literally just understanding it and just working through it day by day and not giving up. Right. And so I've learned a lot through that, and I've gotten great responses with what I'm trying to do, in the business world. I've just been stepping out of my element, and a lot of things have been naturally coming to me. So I'm really grateful for that. And because I'm getting those, I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Yes.
And I'm not going to let this, foreign person in my head tell me, oh, don't do it. You're too scared. Get out of here.
You're not good enough, or you can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Those really dark thoughts. But, I've just been really happy lately and moving forward and, doing the best I can. And it's got me a lot further than I was literally a month, 2 months ago. So I'm proud of myself.
I love that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So how did you take, how are you able to take that step forward? I think a lot of people will probably be asking after hearing what you just said, how can I?
Not to get too personal, but I had to understand what was most important in my life. And I had to start isolating myself because I felt like I was wrapping things, or I was surrounding myself with things or people that weren't really helpful in that time frame. And I just kind of needed to like take a step back and just, map everything out. And that was hard for me because I'm a people person. I love to be out and, hang out with friends or doing the activities, but I just became super recluse. But it's not that I'm not going to go back out there and be that, person. I'm still that person. I just needed to take a step back and figure out those important elements for me.
Yes.
And then I'll go back into that element. But right now I'm focused on myself and the power that I have and using that power and in that moment.
That's so important. It's almost like an agrarian cycle, right? When it comes to like power and just even like personal power, like we can't get more powerful unless we challenge ourselves, and we don't challenge ourselves unless we are out there, right? And we are putting ourselves out there and maybe making, taking those risky decisions and stuff. But then it's equally, as important to like, so you're out there, you're blooming, right? You're going for it. You're working. And then it's like, you also have to like, then kind of go inward, like have a winter to think about what you've learned, right? And what things are serving you from that time of like being out there versus, what things are taking away. I think it's really mature.
Thanks. And I think another part of it is like self-love. I think that is another form of self-love. And I think I was kind of looking for that and I was missing something. And I think I finally understood what that was. So it was like, going through the motions and just, understanding that this is what I've been always afraid of, but I'm going to move past that and see what happens. And then this is kind of where I've landed. So it's still a work in progress. It does not happen overnight. I'm still in the beginning stages, but these beginning stages have been very eye-opening for me. And I just want to continue that growth and be on that same like wavelength, forever more. So
I love that. God, I love that. Yeah. You have to be consciously aware that is the phase that you are in, or it's so easy to be kind of pulled off of that path, because growth isn't easy. Growth is hard. That's constant challenge and conflict and understanding and re-understanding.
Yeah.
Right. But you said you're 34.
I'm 33.
33.
I'll be 34 this year in October, but
How
I'm
dare
getting there.
Do that. Okay. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Well, I should. Yeah. Okay. My bad.
No, I'm good.
I should know that because we are exactly 10 years apart. Because I'm 43 and I was born in October.
Yeah.
And it's such a special time, I think. Just in general, I'm not the first person to say this, and it makes sense. Just a woman in her 30s is like, man, her power is just like, whoa. She's starting to really like collect that power. She was always powerful, but it's just like blooming every way in every which direction. When you're a child and then you're in your 20s and then it's like your 30s, you're like, wait a minute, I can actually harness some of this stuff and fucking go.
Yeah. Depending where you are in your life, you start figuring things out. 20s was a blast for me and I learned a lot. 30s in the beginning, I was starting to kind of like try to understand like, okay, this kind of needs to go away and I need to like bring this into my life. And then just the evolution of that and just, becoming more wiser and just understanding things better. So
yes. Oh my God. So what is it like to be a people pleaser in like this phase of your life where, it's so important to focus in your energies on yourself and your own pursuits?
Yeah, I would say I pick and choose, when I become that people pleaser person. Like, obviously, I'm involved with events. So, I'm very well involved with people. So, it's all good. And when I'm, doing these events, I love to engage and talk, and that's where I really come out. But like, behind the scenes, it's a lot of emails and talking like on the phone, which is totally okay. But that's like kind of where I'm just dedicating my life is to the people that I work with and just focusing on that rather than like, I still communicate with my friends, have my friends hang out here and there, but it's just like, it's a different way of being a people person and people pleaser. Yeah. So, but it's like people sharing pleasing, my time.
Yeah, it's freaking people pleasing for like, great pursuit, which is your job. And,
But I love it.
Yeah.
I love what I do, and I'm very happy to be here. So, and helping you and what you're doing.
Oh my God, seriously. It's just like, I feel so, I've always felt so grateful about the women who have come into my life just throughout my whole lifetime. And when I needed certain skills, these women just kind of show up who are so kind and just generous to like teach me and help guide me. And you came into my life at a really cool time where we started planning the Taste of Texas Hemp Cup. And I'm just like, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who didn't see episode 58, shame on you. Okay, but no, I'm just kidding. Go back and watch that because that's a conversation that I had with Estelle. And her day job is, she's a director of events at Fairchild. And if you've been to cannabis events, if you're in the cannabis industry, you've definitely heard about Fairchild. It's a ticketing platform, but you guys also, you're an experiential marketing company as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And these events that you throw are just amazing and just so inspirational. So having you just as my friend is very cool to be like, hey, is this a dumb idea as when I'm throwing my events? You're a great sounding board. And then, just having you here as an extra set of hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And also it's in a beautiful state and surrounded by beautiful people. And I love it here. So thanks again.
Yeah.